Hey everybody, welcome to Live Out Loud with Jason on this beautiful Tuesday, June 3rd, 2020. I said Tuesday, didn't I? I meant Wednesday. Gosh, it's already hump day. How are you doing today? What an amazing day this is. It's a great day to be alive. It is a wonderful day to be alive. Are you thankful and grateful that God gave you breath this morning? I sure am. I woke up this morning with a hunger to go attack the day, and I couldn't wait to get with you guys here today. I want to ask you a quick question here. Are your gifts, talents, and skills collecting dust? Are they sitting on the shelf? Are they buried? Are they hidden in the trunk? Are they collecting dust? What are you doing? What are you doing? If you're going to live out loud, you've got to wipe the dust off. You got to get it moving, okay? So, one of the things that tends to hold us back from living out loud is past failures. What is something, or is there something that you want to do in your heart, you know you should do, but you failed at it before? And since you failed at it before, it's holding you back. It shouldn't be holding you back, but it is. Maybe you're afraid to fail again. So let's reframe what the word failure means in our lives, in our mind, in our thinking, in our belief. What does the word failure mean? Does it mean if you're playing baseball and you strike out, are you a failure? No, you struck out. You'll get another up at bat, right? So failure is just part of the learning curve. Think about it. Failure is part of the learning curve. Whoever gets it right the very first time? No, you don't. Failure is like tuition. It's like it's a tuition you got to pay. It's a rite of passage. You've got to get used to failure, friends. If you're afraid of failure, you've got to put that behind you. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to look stupid, look dumb, look silly. Swallow your pride. The only way that you're going to live out loud and become all that you're supposed to become and do and accomplish all that you're supposed to do and accomplish is by overcoming failure. We have to overcome failure. By the way, if you're listening in today, please say hello in the chat feed, so I'll see you there. I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. But what's holding you back? Is it something? Has there been a failure? Has there been a failure in the past in a relationship, or maybe in a job, seeking a promotion, in a business, whatever? Has there been a failure that's holding you back? Just think through it for a minute. Why am I not moving forward with this? I know this is something I'm supposed to do, and maybe the timing isn't right. Maybe the timing isn't right. Maybe the time is right. And guys, when we want to live out loud and we want to make progress towards something, it's not just about necessarily going and doing something drastic. Maybe it's just doing something small, but moving in the right direction. One of the things that I've always told myself when I was working out was this. Because sometimes, if you're working out really hard, it can be a bummer to really think about, man, I've got to go leave my blood, sweat, and tears on the mat or in the weight room, and it's going to be so hard, and I just don't feel good today. I don't feel like going. Well, so I began telling myself, I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to show up. And if I've got to get the lightest weights or just bench press, just the bar, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up and I'm going to do something, even if it's just going through the motions. And that would be a small start to get me going. So I became a person that just didn't miss workout anymore. I just don't miss workouts. And so that really helped me. And guess what happens? By the time I get there or get into the gym, whatever, and get through the warm-up cycle, I'm like, oh man, I feel good. Yeah, everything's great. Let's go for it. And then by the time it's over, I had an amazing workout and I'm so glad I didn't give it up. And friends, one of the things, is don't let yourself down. We so often work so hard not to let down those people that are around us. We don't want to let our family members or our boss or coworkers down. But how about you? Don't let you down. Make a commitment to yourself. And when you make a decision, know in your heart that I'm going to follow through. I'm going to be a person that follows through on this commitment to do this, to do that. But again, if we back up, let's back up here a minute. Make sure that you bring your beliefs into alignment with where you want to go. Your beliefs about yourself. Because if you don't truly believe that you are a successful business person, a successful speaker, musician, whatever it is, even though you go try, if you don't really believe that, it's not going to happen. Your efforts are going to fizzle out. You're going to run out of juice, run out of energy, run out of inspiration, and it's going to go away. And hi, Marianne. Thanks for listening in today. So glad you tuned in. But guys, if we need to make steps in the right direction, they can be baby steps. If you're playing a football game and you start on your 20-yard line, you don't try for an 80-yard play every single time. You just want to make a few yards so that you can get another first down. Because if you get enough first downs, you're eventually going to get to the end zone. It's about progress. It's about baby steps. So it's okay to take baby steps, to take it small. And guess what? When you set up small things, small steps, the failures aren't catastrophic. Okay, you can learn and you can fail. And here's the thing, I've heard this so many times, is that practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes permanent. I agree with that. But if you don't practice, you don't have the opportunity to improve. So when you practice the repetition, we get more opportunity to improve and to hone it. Now, if we just keep doing the same thing over and over without actually trying to get better, well, then we're just doing the same thing over and over trying to get better. And one of the books I read a while back was mentioning a study of brain surgeons, and they were talking about the expertise, what separated the highest performing people in that field from the crowd. And they learned through the study of all of these neurosurgeons was that after about 5 years, your experience, the more time you were doing it, your experience would take you to a level. And then when you hit 5 years, it leveled off. And from there, you really didn't grow much in your expertise unless you undertook deliberate coaching and practicing on the individual elements of the skills. I have no clue what skills those are, but of the individual skills to hone that craft and that practice. And so, you may be, friends, you may be a veteran in your job, and you may have a know-it-all attitude. And I just want to tell you what, you don't know it all. You probably know a lot of it. Maybe you know most of it, but there is more that you can uncover, and there's someone else who has a different subset of knowing what you know, and maybe y'all intersect like a Venn diagram, and they know stuff you don't know and you know stuff they don't know. And everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs a coach. It's okay it's okay to say that you need help. That's one of the things that I have had the honor of performing a marriage ceremony for a number of couples, and one of the things that is a belief that I try to instill in them is that you know, in marriage or pre-marriage, to get counseling is not an admission of failure. To get counseling is not an admission of problems. What it is it means I take this serious. I want to make sure that I'm not that I'm not blindsided, that I don't have blind spots. I want to make sure that I have all the tools in my toolbox, in my communication toolbox, to communicate better with my spouse because they're made differently than me. And friends, I want to tell you, as to get counseling in a marriage, that is an honorable thing to do. And I believe that everybody needs a coach because you can't simply be an expert at everything. So why not go to the expert and seek out that advice and have them help you shortcut, leapfrog to success instead of continually doing over trial and error forever and ever and ever, wasting your time that you can never get back. So why not go and hire the expert or connect with the expert right out of the get-go? So we've got to stop letting things hold us back, and we need to connect with people that can help get us where we need to go faster. The clock is ticking, and we need to get there faster. So let's talk about something. You know, there's a saying that we say around me and my friends a lot is you just don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And that's just a nice way of saying ignorance. And I want you to think about this. You know, sometimes we know that we don't know something. And I want to share a little story with you. And I'm hoping this is going to encourage you. 2 decades ago, I had my painting business, and I needed to add on a new service. Hey, there's Jason Holden, and there's my mom, Linda. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. I had a hold on here a second. How do I do this? I'm in the wrong spot. There we go. That's what we do. So I had, in my painting business, so many of the homes we would go out to paint were needing carpentry and gutters, but we didn't do gutters, and so then we'd have to tell the homeowner we need new gutters first. They'd have to go hunt down a gutter company and have that done, then have me come back out, and it was just a big headache for everybody. And so I made a decision. I'm like, man, we just need to start solving this one problem for the customer, and we need to bring that service in house. I didn't know anything about gutters at the time. I didn't even know anyone who did gutters. I'd never done them, you know, so I didn't know. I just knew I needed that. And so I'm like, oh man, what are we going to do about this? Well, finally, well, here's what I'll do. Why don't I just look up in the yellow pages on the internet and find out who sells materials? Let me call them. They're going to know somebody. So I called around. I called one material vendor and told him what I wanted to do. And he said, well, hey, tell you what, if you'll set up an account with me, then I'll just come over and I'll show you how to do it. I'm like, okay, great. My house needs new gutters. So we bought a machine and a truck and hired a crew chief that was a great guy, but had never done gutters before either. And the manager of this location comes over and he shows us the ins and outs of how to install gutters properly. And then I was asking him questions. Well, you know, what are the shortcuts? What are the pitfalls that people do, you know, take and all of this? And from there, I began to develop our signature system. And all I'm saying is that within a very short time, a phone call to the right person opened the door, gave me the knowledge that I needed to take my business to the next level. And so why do I share this with you? What I'm sharing this with you for, friends, is because the knowledge that you don't have is the reason for your ignorance. Okay? And please, I'm not trying to insult you, okay? The cure for ignorance is knowledge. And the knowledge you need may be a phone call away. You don't know who to call. Ask around. You know, you may not know how, and you may not know what, or maybe know what and you don't know how, but guess what? Who knows how? Who knows what? Who knows how? So what you need to do is you need to meet who. The who is going to know how, and will share with you the how or connect you with another person that can do it for you. So your next step of living out loud could simply be making a phone call to the right person. It could be knocking on their door, visiting them, whatever it is. A
Learning
phone call
Phillips.
to the right person. So don't let ignorance stop you. If you don't know, just ask. You see, God created us to be all interconnected. You have this set of skills, I have this set of skills, and sometimes the needs overlap, and we can help one another along. And guess what? People that have the knowledge that you need, you want to know, they are so much typically, they're an open book. They're going to be an open book to share with you. People are generous. Don't be afraid to ask for knowledge. And you know, one of the worst things is when you're a knowledgeable and expert on a certain subject, you love talking about it, you love sharing it. But one of the things that is frustrating is when someone asks you for your time, and you share your piece of wisdom with them, and then they don't use it. It's like, wow, I just wasted all of my time. So don't be that person. If you ask someone for advice and you're going to the expert, take their advice, okay? And don't let them waste their words and their time on you. And that way they're going to value that relationship more because they see you valuing that relationship. So who knows how? Who knows what? Find your who. Find your who. Okay? By the way, here's another thing I think that tends to hold us back from living out loud, from doing the next thing, is because we want to be very good at it. We want to be efficient. And I want to talk to you real quick about the difference of being effective and efficient. Okay? Think about this. The automobiles of decades ago, the 70s, the 60s, versus the cars of today. Are the cars of today any more effective at getting us from point A to point B? Those old cars, they got us from point A to point B just fine. What's the difference in the cars now? Efficiency, energy efficiency, and luxury, right? And so the only way you're going to become efficient is to start with effectiveness. So start by getting it done and then improve it as you go. Does that make sense? Don't wait until you can have a perfectly honed talent or skill to get started. Again, you're going to get started and be effective, and then you're going to work on your efficiency and improve your skill and get even better. The point is you have to get started. What is it, friends, what is it that you need to get started with? What is it that you need to get started with? Is it a new skill? Is it knowledge you need to learn? Maybe it was like me. One of the things I needed to do was become a very proficient reader. And gosh, has that changed my life? Reading has changed my life incredibly. And I believe it's also changed the lives of those around me. I've become a better person as well. And so I think that just bleeds off onto other people. So friends, I want to encourage you to live out loud. You have a purpose in this life. You were created with certain skills and talents. They may be collecting dust, but they don't have to collect dust forever. Wipe the dust off, dig them out, open the closet, whatever you got to do, and start discover and develop the talents that God has given you, because there's only one you in this world. There will only ever be one you, and the world needs you. Okay? So I just want to tell you, go out and have a great day, live out loud, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless you.